Welcome to my lovely little Animal Crossing world. I'm gonna show you guys some of my most amazing builds that I've done in Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise because I'm a huge shipper and I just keep pairing these animals together, and I thought it'd be really fun to not only just show you guys my builds, but also draw them together. So let's go check out some of my favorite little builds I've done so far. Starting with this build, this was my very first build I ever did that did any sort of roommate thing. So this is Aelia and Aelia. So I went with like this mushroom kind of vibe, with the fall forest and dragonflies and leaves and everything. Because these two girlies, they just seemed like they were really gonna thrive in this cute little polka dot kind of environment. For this being like one of my first builds ever, it actually is kind of holding up, I'm not gonna lie. This is their adorable mushroom hut. Literally made out of a mushroom so they could live their best life in the middle of the woods. Dragonflies that scarily come way too close into the screen, Jesus Christ! That was like the SpongeBob butterfly thing. Girly is playing in the leaves today, girly. Oh, she's taking a selfie. She's taking a selfie. Hey, girl! She loves the camera. This is one sassy queen. She cannot get enough of this. So for the inside, the build is pretty self-explanatory. Like, you've got, like, their little bedroom with, like, a little bathroom combination right here. They have the most cute color palette imaginable. They have, like, the nicest little living room ever. Are you joking? This is the most serene, blessed little house. Oh my gosh. How comfortable is this adorable little mushroom hut? Look at them with their little vegan meals. I headcanon that these two are vegans and they grow their own food and enjoy every little bit of life of living out in the middle of nowhere. We gotta love their super adorable little spare guest room. I made it extra fruity. If you know, you know. But that way they have like a space to like kind of, if they need space away from each other, they can get it. They got the most adorable little kitchen setup ever. Are you joking? Look, they're putting their old objects to use with their fruit crates and everything. Nice for the environment by recycling and reusing things. They are just in love with their plants. Look at that. No children, no pets, we only have plants in our house. Look at the way they're looking at each other. They're so in love. And now she's jealous because Ali's eating a snack and Aelia wasn't invited. So there's a little bit of a cheeky little competition going on here. So with Aelia and Aelia, not only do their names work together super freaking well and they're so adorable. It literally sounds like a TV show, like reality TV show you would watch. It's just so cute together. I just love their color palettes together, and I thought that they both had similar interests when they both had different like designs in mind for their vacation homes. I was like, oh, they seem like they would actually like the same house. So I put them in this cute little fall aesthetic because I really think the reds and oranges contrast well with their teals. I'm just such a color theory nerd, obviously. So I want to draw these two together and really exemplify the fact that they love being domestic and they love just taking care of their plants and taking care of their house and their adorable little mushrooms everywhere. And overall, I think I'll die on this hill. This ship is adorable. They can look kind of similar and still be a couple, okay? Like, I don't understand that. Some people get all up in arms about couples looking like they're related, quote unquote. And I'm like, first of all, why are you thinking like that? Second of all, leave them alone. Like, you can't choose who you fall in love with and what they're gonna look like. Like, they just so happen to look similar. Oh well, like, too bad. Like, they love each other, you know? I don't know, maybe that's a hot take, but I think it's totally fine for couples to look similar to each other and still very much be in a great loving relationship. But yes, I love my spotted little girly pops. Leave them alone. They're lesbians that want to live in the middle of the woods and they don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to their plants. Have a nice day. We're gonna say goodbye to Aelia and Aelia and head on over to our next location. Next house we're gonna visit is gonna be Buzz and Genji's house. I love these two together so much. They have an adorable tea shop in the middle of bamboo woods. It's like this very serene kind of area. And their boyfriends are on her. Buzz is like the super like outgoing kind of crazy jock character. Genji's kind of the more calm collected one. But they have like this really great counterbalance in their relationship. But honestly, now that Buzz is out here and living with his boyfriend, he's definitely learning to like take life slower and sit down and maybe sip the tea sometimes. It's so peaceful. Compared to some of my other builds that could be pretty busy, this is just such a calm environment. They obviously have a very stylized home, so let's check out the inside! So another hot take, I think the gyroids are severely underused and we need to use them more. They make the best little noises and add to the atmosphere. I just love gyroids so much. Ever since they added them back into the game, I've just been collecting as many as I can and using them in like every build possible because they're just so cool and they're just little guys. I love them so very much. But half of this house is actually an indoor garden. This mysterious Asian garden that somehow miraculously stays alive indoors. It's one of their like secrets that draws people into their shop. Buzz is definitely a big help when it comes to the plants and things. I feel like Genji doesn't really know what he's doing and is definitely overwatering this plant. And Buzz is like, stop. He's like, okay. Like, they just help each other out in every way, and they're just so supportive of each other in their dreams. Just listen to the gyroids. Are you joking? It's the most beautiful thing ever. They're just making their own music. I don't understand how people can't, like, don't like them or don't use them. Like, they're just so freaking awesome. I just can't get over the idea that they brew, like, the best tea you've ever had, too, and they grow all of their own teas in their gardens together. Of course, they have to keep pictures of each other on their walls because they don't see each other enough in this tiny space, apparently. And then here's Buzz sneaking a snack. He's, like, totally grabbed something from the stove that they were preparing and is taste testing it for sure. Meanwhile, Genji's done. He's like, I'm done, I'm clocked out. What I think is especially fun about their dynamic is, like, I love the idea of, like, when there's a ship dynamic of, like, one big, large, strong character, and then the other one's just kind of like a soft, shy, short character. I love when opposites attract so much. That's why I thought the ship was so much freaking fun, because they're just so opposite in a lot of ways, and I just really enjoy the fact that they counterbalance in that way. As far as drawing them together, it's sweet to think that sometimes they, like, will close the shop for some evenings and just kind of make tea for each other and kind of take care of each other sometimes, and I think that that's, like, a really special, fun thing that they do for each other, because I'm sure it is a lot of work growing your own tea, preparing everything, and maintaining those very vast and complicated gardens. So I feel like this is a way that they help each other. It's like, they reward each other by taking care of each other and being there for each other. And I love them so much. I think they're so adorable together, and I hope you'll agree, because, oh, I just can't get over my Animal Crossing ships, and I'll die on my hills. They seem so random until I tell you exactly what they're doing together, and then you're like, oh my god, no. And then hopefully you'll join me in my crazy train, and we'll be aboard, and we'll drive around forever, loving Buzz and Genji together. See you later. I will come have some tea another time. Maybe in the future when I learn to like tea. The next house is super interesting because I wanted to do a polyamorous ship, but obviously you can't put more than 2 people in one house. So I kind of have 2 different builds for this one concept. And it's between Poppy, Melba, and Maple. So the idea is that this build is their pet shop. They run a adorable little plushie and pet shop combination. Some of them like to make plushies in their free time, and some of them are part of a pet rescue, and they help rehome animals in need. I personally think Poppy is the animal lover. I think Poppy is the one that's doing most of the rescue work, and is working very hard to make sure all of the animals are happy and healthy. Meanwhile, I think Melba and Maple are the plushie duo. I think that those two— oh, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, Melba. Oh, she's so camera shy. But I think that she definitely is one of the plushie fanatics and is really good at sewing. Of course, they're maintaining the outside of their pet store, which offers a little picnic area for people to kind of meet the new animals that come in case they're interested in adopting them. So this is like kind of the play area where they can meet with like dogs and cats and various animals that they want to adopt out. So inside, you'll find a very lively atmosphere in here. Somewhat chaotic. Lots and lots of pets. Thank you, Poppy, for joining me in on my little dance, and Melba for appreciating that. But they have lots of amazing animals in here, and obviously lots of books to help take care of those animals. So here they have an adorable dog who's probably up for adoption, waiting to get a new home. Melba is busy testing out the new freezer items they get in. I imagine they have, like, dog and cat ice cream in that fridge, too. Here we have a lovely little parakeet who's also looking for a home, and a little hamster who is just going crazy on that wheel. But luckily Poppy's here to save the day and give them new homes. We also have some cool fish, and of course they have an adorable little bunny rabbit who is watching over their book section. Oh! Poppy's apparently into gacha, and she won something good! She's so happy! But they have this adorable little claw machine that they fill with plushies that they make themselves! And they also have little keychain plushies that they have next to that, which Poppy keeps winning. And she's very much supporting her two girlfriends. Upstairs is kind of part 1 to their house build, because again, I had to split this into multiple builds because we sure didn't get a lot of room for putting 3 people in one place. So this is kind of their living space that's above the shop. They have lots of very bright natural furniture in here. They have this cozy corner, which is where I'd like to imagine they come to sit and sew very peacefully. And I imagine they also love to go biking. Imagine that they're kind of like outdoorsy people in their free time. Of course, they got fresh baked cookies and craft supplies everywhere. They also have some kind of suitcase items around because I imagine that they would like to travel. As soon as they adopt out like enough animals, I'm sure they just keep this shop closed for a couple weeks at a time when they don't have animals, and they go and travel the world. The little bedroom is just so cozy. They have so much colorful books and lively flowers, and the rubber ducky was just another kind of nod to the ducks they take care of outside of their pet store. And that's part 1 of this build. I'm gonna go on over to the next part of the build. So the way that I'm flavoring this is that this outside doesn't really like count as anything because I'm using the outside of the pet store because they live on the 2nd story of the pet store. But I still put all 3 of their bikes out there. So for the second build, Maple's here. I tried to kind of match what was going on in the other build. I'd like to... Girl, I'm trying to exemplify your kitchen, not your face, sorry. I'm trying to imagine that these 2 homes are the same place, where they have like, you know, puppies, they have like dogs that they're taking care of that live upstairs with them temporarily, and they have pets everywhere, plushies everywhere, and it's just the 3 of them. It's more of the thing, I think their relationship is that Poppy has 2 hands and holds the hands of Melba and Maple. And everybody's super cool with that. Everybody's super chill with that. So they all kind of live together in this big, happy, plushy home. And I imagine that this is just another bedroom attached to that home. The kitchen I would prefer to use from the other build, aside from adding the couple of dogs and things. Think of these 2 builds as like if they were combined. Because I have no way to make a house that large and have 3 people in it, unfortunately, because Animal Crossing is not as progressive as I would like it to be, but that's okay. I still wanted to make sure I had a polyamory ship, because they are so important, and I love them, and I see you out there, and I support you. When I drew them together, I was like, you know what would be so stinking cute? Is if Maple and Melba are like the sewing girlies, and while they're not dating each other, they are dating Poppy. So I imagine they sit there and bond over how much they love Poppy, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love Poppy so much. She's like, you know, the stitch in our hearts that keeps us together. It's really nice to all be here together. Like, I think it's beautiful when you have a polyamory relationship that doesn't have to go like every single kind of way. Like, they can just love who they want to love, and they can support each other, but it doesn't have to always be like romantic. And I love that. I love how these kind of dynamics work and how they kind of break the normal bounds of what relationships are traditionally. And I think that they can be so healthy and so fun, and people can really flourish in these environments. Obviously, lots of communication is key, but I think that these girlies really do it. They take care of animals, they pursue their passions, they go biking, they travel, they are successful, and they share that success amongst all 3 of them, and I love it so much. Oh, you thought you were safe from villain dads just because I wasn't recording something about Brightside? Well, you're absolutely wrong. I have these two villain dads, Cephalobot and Phil, and they are evil villains together, and I can't wait to show you their house. Oh my god. These two are evil geniuses that live on a remote, stormy island. Perfect for their schemes. They literally stole the moon, shrunk it down, and put it in their backyard as a trophy. They've got the most haunted looking house ever. They have their alien spaceship kind of parked off to the side, because Cephalobot is 100% an alien. Inside, you're gonna be very impressed with this evil lair. Wait until you see this. Welcome to the evil lair of Cephalobot and Phil! I know it's like stupid or whatever, but this is literally one of my favorite ships of all of them that I've done, and I love them so much. Listen. So these two are secret evil villains who work together to create schemes to foil the plans of Mira, the superhero bunny. As you can see, Cephalobot's doing some maintenance. This place requires a lot of work, considering the storms that just rage outside every single day. But they have lots of interesting things like experimental test tubes bubbling and mysterious machines that may end the world, who knows? They have giant red buttons that you should definitely not press. Questionable fun chairs that you should probably not sit in. But in either way, these two are the most fantastic goons together. I love imagining them and their dynamic. What did we just say about pressing that button? Phil. He's so sassy. He pressed it again! What a jerk! As you can see, they are very evil and mischievous. But upstairs, above their secret evil lair, they have the world's coolest bedroom. These two literally sleep and look out amongst the stars. They repurposed part of Cephalobot's old spaceship into a brand new home that they can enjoy together. So once they're done scheming for the day, they come here to relax in the green glow and atmosphere of what is home to Cephalobot. And I'm sure Cephalobot shares lots of stories with Phil about what his homeworld was like and what adventures he got up to in space before settling on making Earth his home. And I'm sure that they actually go out on expeditions a lot together. And honestly, they're so wholesome outside of their work. I'm sure they enjoy their work a little too much. They're so into being villains, but I'm sure that they have their sweet moments too. When I drew Phil and Cephalobot together, I was definitely thinking of, like, the dynamic of two villains who work together and, like, you ship so hard because they, like, totally have a thing going on. Except in this case, they actually just do have a thing going on because I love that. I love that so much and we need more of that in this world. So when I drew them together, I was like, you know what'd be so cool? If I had them doing, like, this, like, kind of pose where it's like, oh my god, everybody knows they're together, they're so cute, but they're also just kind of being jerks and messing with Mira, because Mira's like kind of their mortal enemy, their nemesis and rival. They try to scheme against her all the time. I thought it'd just be so much fun to have these two as a ship dynamic when it comes to, like, an alien from a far across place and a guy who has way too much passion about beauty and villain outfits, and with their powers combined, they are fashionable and smart, and I love that for them so much. These two are so much fun, dude. I love them. Last build for this video I'd like to show off is one that has, like, the best story I've ever come up with for some Animal Crossing ship characters. I'm telling you, it's between Tucker and Coco. Welcome to Tucker's Abandoned Tomb. This is a dig site that Tucker was working on for his job, that he basically discovered fragments of a person lost to time. Coco, he basically very carefully excavated all the different parts of Coco and reassembled her and put her back together, and her spirit was able to bind to her gyroid body once more. And now they are hopelessly in love. I can't get over this story. This is the best freaking one out of all of them. I'm telling you right now. I'll never shut up about these two. It's obviously very dry and arid here. So this little retreat is really important for Tucker to go into, because while Coco is just a gyroid, a spirit embodying basically a pottery-like body, Tucker is very much alive. But this story has another twist. Tucker is also from an ancient time, basically resurrected from a fossil in modern times. While yes, he grew up in modern times and everything, and is a very modern being, he's still very much focused on the past that he was drawn from, and he finds himself recalling memories of things that never happened, but perhaps happened around him when he was still captured in a fossil. Inside the retreat, it's actually within an old abandoned tunnel. This is where Tucker spent a ton of time restoring Coco to her now beautiful, glorious self, before she was shattered into lots of pieces. Tucker honestly knew what that felt like. He used to be in that same kind of state until he was restored from a fossil and brought into this modern world. So here he is, always studying, always trying to find hints to the past and reminisce about something that he was once a part of. These two connect because they're both from ancient times. Coco had fallen apart into a million pieces, and her spirit had been waiting for her body to be put back together. And now the two have bonded over a time long past, and they have fallen so in love with each other, and it's so stinking sweet. They spend all their time researching the ancient beings of this world, and also fixing up other gyroids. That's Coco's favorite pastime, is fixing up all these little broken gyroid pieces and giving them new life. Much like Tucker did for her. Their passion's about the past, but their excitement for the future is what keeps them together. Upstairs in the retreat, they have a very nice home. They have a lovely bath, which they obviously need because they constantly are digging up things. Including me, apparently. I'm not that old. Guys, don't poke me with the shovel. I'm not that old. I'm 26. Please stop experimenting on me and leave me alone. They have lots of books and vegetables that I imagine they get shipments of every now and then, because the researchers that are out here are being, housed and fed by a company, essentially. But they do have a place to wash up and get all of the dirt off of them from long days of excavating different fossils and pieces of history. Overall, this is the ship ever. I am just saying. There is nothing more adorable than like a dorky scientist guy who was like, I was revived from a fossil, and I found pieces of another person, and I'm gonna bring her back. And totally thinking nothing of it, and just being so focused on just not being alone in this world, and just wanting a friend, and it becoming so much more than a friend, and she's just so in love with him. I imagine that while Coco was being put back together, she was like, as a ghost, watching him meticulously help her with so much unconditional love, and I just think it's so freaking sweet, and their story's so cute and sad, and they're just kind of these like lone survivor characters who just have a passion for the same exact things, and I love this so much for them. Look how freaking cute! And that just about does it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my lovely Animal Crossing builds and ships, and all of my really cool stories I've come up for these characters. I hope you like these videos because I have so many more planned. I have so many more ships and builds and awesome things to show you. And also, I hope you're enjoying the art aspect, because I like combining all of my interests into one fun little place. Until next time, enjoy my lovely crack ships, and I hope that some of you actually hop aboard. Hopefully you don't think I'm too crazy for any of this, but hey. Maybe there's some of you who agree. Drop some of your favorite Animal Crossing ships in the comments. I'd love to read about them and learn more about the cool lore that you come up with for your characters and your builds. Until next time, bye-bye!